Forgiveness and prayer.
Ooh, nice. Here,
Right.
Mark 11, and we are starting in
25.
25. Okay, 25. Yay.
You know what's better than 25, mother?
26.
26.
Is that where we were going?
Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with it. And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. Which I guess you're right. It's like if you ever, you don't hold grudges, right?
Yeah,
My
yeah.
goodness. But if you do
Mhm.
not forgive, neither will your Father in heaven forgive your trespasses. Did I already read that?
I know.
Still, double effective,
No,
right?
no. Yeah, no, I think it's important. Yes.
It's showing somebody grace. Remember the one of the parables, we may be coming up to it at some point, but with the servant who was shown mercy and then he had a servant and then he treated him like crap.
Yes. And then,
It's
yeah,
just like if you expect any forgiveness ever, it's like you gotta forgive other people.
yeah,
That's treat other people the way that you would want to be treated.
exactly. Exactly. And I feel, like if you've messed up, then you know what it feels like to mess up. So to give somebody else a hard time messing up in the exact same thing
Right.
is like, you know,
Yeah. And it's
um,
part of putting yourself in other people's shoes. Like take a moment before you respond to things. It's like, what would you do if that were you? Because I
exactly.
guarantee you, if you took a moment, you might just be a little kinder, just be a little more understanding and like
So when you're putting on their shoes, at least take the time to tie the laces while
right.
pondering.
Exactly. And make sure you steal their socks as well.
No, no. Oh, well, maybe. We're not stealing. We're just putting it so we can experience it for a minute.
Oh, you thought this is the Bible? You're getting robbed. This is a robbery.
I just wanted your shoes. Oh.
I just wanted to know how your life was. All right, so Jesus' authority is questioned immediately after this? No. Then they came again to Jerusalem.
Okay, so a little after. But
And as he was walking in the temple, the chief priests and scribes and the elders came to him. And they said,
mm,
hold on.
a
You can
big
be
group.
quiet, bro.
I know. Chief priests with S, scribes.
Well, it was like yesterday, my good sir, you came in here and you caused a ruckus.
Let's see if that's what he's saying. I think that is what they're trying to say. So they teamed up.
So in 28, and they said to him, by what authority are you doing these things? And who gave you this authority to do these things? And mother, would you like to know what they're referencing in these things?
I would think that they're referencing what Jesus was doing the other day with throwing out the people out of the temple. I'm pretty sure that's what he's talking about because he's kind of coming in there and being the boss, and they've probably been in there years, and all of a sudden here he is.
Like, listen, bro, we don't do things this
And
way
then,
here.
right, the people selling the stuff probably have come and complained, and now they're like, you know, we know.
So whenever you hear in your life, mother, we don't do things that way here, this is what you can say to them.
Okay,
But Jesus answered and said to them, I will ask you one question, then answer me. I will tell you by what authority I do these things. The baptism of John, was it from heaven or from men? Answer me.
mm-hmm.
Who was
Wow,
it from? Who was it from?
exactly. Who it
It was
was
from
from?
heaven, right?
It was from heaven, exactly.
That's where the authority
It
of
was
the
from God.
baptism
Yes,
comes
yes,
from.
yes,
I
from
mean,
God.
John was used as a conduit to
to
do
foretell
it.
about Jesus, right? And to get people ready for Jesus, prepare the way for the Jesus. Yes.
But
So
at the end of the day, is the big man upstairs.
it is. Yes. Thank you, Lord. Yes. Yes.
And they
Absolutely.
reasoned among themselves, saying, if we say from heaven, he will say, why then do you not believe from him?
Believe him, right?
I'm letting everybody know right now. If you ever find yourself in a position where you're arguing about what people are going to be saying, you're probably not in a very good situation. You're probably
Instead of like if you know and know and know, you would just answer. Is that what you mean? Although it is
right.
good wise to ponder and answer, but they're
What they,
kind of
I mean, they were trying to trip him up.
they are exactly. So they're trying to make sure they have the right answer.
Certainly do. But if we say from men, they feared the people,
Mhm.
for all counted John to have been a prophet indeed. So either way, they said either way. So we have an option A, we have an option B,
Right. And they already think
which
they
is what
know.
they discussed.
Right.
And what they decided to go with was option C.
It
Now, this is an interesting option.
is.
Seriously, I wouldn't have chosen it. It really came out of left field, right? We have two options. One, you don't make anybody angry. One, you piss off people. And we went with a third option.
Which wasn't in the original question, because the baptism of John wasn't from heaven or from men. It seemed like only two options.
Right. And then it's like, well, then you're no longer willing to play by the rules that you would set forth in this interaction. And then what does Jesus say?
So they answered. Did you tell them what they answered?
He said, oh, no. Well, what did they say? They said, we do not know.
That's all.
That was option C, is
That
we
they
don't know. So in 32, 33, so they answered and said to Jesus, we do not know. And Jesus answered and said to them, neither will I tell you by what authority I do these things.
fair.
He said,
That's
right.
golden, right?
Yep.
And so in a way, if they answered heaven or for men,
Right.
either one, Jesus would have to tell them, right? Because he didn't say the answer had to be right. He just said, answer me.
Right.
From them
The
two options.
answer is heaven, right?
Right. But then they assumed if they said heaven, they are assuming that Jesus would say, why did you not believe him?
But the answer to that is,
But
I think Jesus would have just said, that's, yeah, you're right. That's who works through me. Or he would have said, I am him.
right, he would have said, yeah, he would have answered maybe, I mean, they didn't give him that option, right?
Right.
And if they say for men, they have the fear of men, right? They're fearing the people. So out of fear, they said, we do not know, because they didn't want to.
Even the prophets, no, not the prophets, the Pharisees. Who's
It's all of them. If you look back in 27,
everybody?
it's the chief priests, the scribes, and the elders. Well, not the Pharisees,
Okay. They're not there. So just the
but
chief scribes.
and the scribes and the. I mean, they're pretty important in there in the temple.
That's true.
But yeah, it's
Oh, right.
interesting.
So they're not even trying to drum them up that much, I guess. They're trying,
Well, I think they're coming at him in a little bit of a controversial way. You know what I mean? I don't think they're coming in love towards him, in genuinely asking either. I think they're like saying, who are you to do all this stuff? I really.
hmm.
Because if they wanted to know the answer, they would have, tried to be explain, I think.
Right.
And
You would think. But it is like,
But here we are.
because the other,
I mean, right, it's reasonable probably that they would have asked him if they were in the temple all this time, but they might have
Right.
forgotten that they were working for God. And
right,
they should have went to God and said, "Who's this? Is this
or
your
just
son?"
leave them, because he taught yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you question somebody in a fashion, it would make me believe maybe you didn't believe anything that I said yesterday,
Yeah, did you not believe John the Baptist? Like why? I mean,
right?
they
Were they
must have,
not also teaching the same kind of thing?
yeah,
Not to say that a man would live in the wilderness by choice, but
right. Oh,
teachings weren't as accepted.
so definitely, wow. Something to ponder.
Something to ponder. Ponder to peace.